today's video is going to be on shame and guilt that we experience with overeating and the negative self-talk and how to break this cycle. I'll tell you a secret how I came up with the idea for this video. We're in Florida right now, and yesterday our flight was delayed by twice the amount of time. So instead of 3 hours, it took us 6 to get here. And by the time we arrived, we were starving. And when we got to the restaurant, my son, who's a young man, he's 18 and he's a good eater, he was running on fumes. And so he ordered that 24-ounce steak, and he was so hungry that he was going to eat that whole steak. So when it arrived, he started eating, and then bite after bite, maybe after 3 bites, he realized that the steak was raw. And there is a difference between a rare and raw. So we sent it back. And when it arrived second time, a little bit of time has passed, maybe 5 minutes or so. So when it arrived second time, he still was so hungry. He started eating, and then it was raw again. So he sent it back. Long story short, we had to reorder a completely, new piece of steak because it wasn't, cooking right. And so maybe 20-30 minutes passed by when he actually started eating the new piece of steak. He did have several bites, and that somewhere halfway through, he realized that he was full. And he didn't finish the whole steak. He took half of it, home with us. So, and this is how the idea about if he ate that whole steak, 24 ounces, he definitely would have felt overstuffed. And so maybe you can relate that in the past, when you were so hungry, you ate and ate and ate, and in the end you felt so uncomfortable, and then a lot of times you would start talking negatively to yourself, saying, oh, I was such a pig, I was a heifer, or even worse, comparing yourself to other people, why Jenny or Mary could do this and I couldn't. And that feeling of you being worse than somebody else settles in. So what if you could train your brain to not only listen to what your body is telling you, but also hear yourself and notice those unconscious thoughts and train your brain to consciously be aware. That's what my body is telling you. Imagine what your life would be like. Like if you notice that negative self-talk or comparing yourself to other people with overeating, and then being able to chop that thought or notice and be like, oh, it's just a thought. How would you feel? You probably would have felt less, stressed, more at ease, more confident. So the question comes up, how do you get there? Yes, it requires work. You must be willing and dedicated to retraining your brain. So if you were to think with eating of your stomach as a gas tank, and it could be any type of car. Right now I'm in Florida and thinking, I'm this convertible, but you could be a Jeep if you need to power through the day, or maybe, a Lamborghini. And so if you imagine yourself, your stomach as the gas tank, and this is the gas tank, right? Like in the car. And then, so it's 0 to 10. This is where it's full. And this is empty, maybe running on fumes. So the idea, and this is full, and this is in the middle. I'll put the heart. That's comfortable, comfy feeling. So the idea is to recognize when you are empty and when you are full or when you're comfortable. So I must tell you that the first two points, 3, and the last 3 are the most dangerous. Why? So 1 is running on fumes, 1 is dying of hunger. 2, extremely hungry. Extreme hunger. So when you're in the beginning, and if you're running on fumes or dying of hunger, extra hungry, this is when you are more a chance to overeat and then be extra full, like sick to your stomach, stuffed. Feeling as a stuffed pepper. That's what comes to mind. So if you notice, they are, on the opposite end. So the first 3 and the last 3, they're most dangerous and associated with that negative self-talk and comparing yourself. So the point is to be aware when you're feeling like this in your body, and we're all different. So just ask yourself, when am I running on fumes? What does it present like in my body? And sometimes it could be growling stomach, or maybe you cannot concentrate. Like the other day at work, I'm also a nurse practitioner, not only the health coach. So at work the other day, I was typing in the chart because I was so hungry, tacos. I knew something was wrong when instead of patient's medical history, I was typing about food. So I knew I was so hungry. And that's where I am at that chance. My thought process was not that growling, maybe low sugar, low energy. Those are the things that tell me when I'm extra hungry and when I'm at risk. With the fullness is the same for me personally. I'm running on really low energy, just want to lay and do nothing, or I start talking badly to myself. Now, whether you want to perform this exercise in your head or maybe in a notebook, it's up to you. I'm just sharing with you what worked for me, and it took me a little bit and I'm still working on it. I just know that my audience, just like me, dedicated to self-improvement, motivated for that more energy, better life, best version of myself. And I'm so glad that this video brought awareness on how to break the self-guilt and overeating habits, and also now you have the tools on how to recognize what's happening in your beautiful guest tank. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.